Just when he thought he was out, they pull him back in. The mysterious woman who filed a complaint against Christian Horner for inappropriate behaviour has now brought her concerns to the FIA's Ethics Committee. Despite the accusations, Horner has consistently denied any wrongdoing. Let's take a look at the bullet in her chamber in today's video. Keep watching. On February 2nd, a complaint was lodged with the FIA's Ethics and Compliance Hotline, specifically mentioning Horner's conduct towards a female employee. The complaint urged the FIA to investigate and raise concerns about potential attempts by Red Bull to conceal the matter. And on March 6th, another complaint referred back to the first one and indicated that if necessary, the whistleblower would take the matter to the media. The FIA responded to these developments with a statement. Inquiries and complaints are received and managed by the compliance officer and the ethics committee where appropriate. Both bodies operate autonomously, guaranteeing strict confidentiality throughout the process. As a consequence, and in general, we are unable to confirm the receipt of any specific complaint, and it is unlikely that we will be able to provide further comment on the complaints that we may receive from any parties. A spokesperson from Red Bull Racing stated that they were unaware of the complaint and opted not to provide further comments. The woman's formal complaint to the FIA comes after her appeal against Red Bull's dismissal of her initial complaint. Red Bull's decision to dismiss her complaint followed an investigation led by a lawyer. Recently, the team suspended her from her position. The allegations against Horner surfaced in early February, although the investigation into his conduct had commenced nearly a month earlier. Red Bull disclosed that the investigation spanned a duration of 10 weeks. An external lawyer was appointed by Red Bull to conduct the investigation into the allegations. Following the submission of the lawyer's report to the company's board, the decision was made to dismiss the complaint. The day after, a collection of messages allegedly involving Horner was leaked to approximately 150 senior F1 insiders and media sources. Horner has expressed the view that it's time to put an end to the controversy. Red Bull has declined to disclose additional details about the case, citing confidentiality. The reason conveyed by Red Bull to the employee for her dismissal was that she had been dishonest. At the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix last week, Horner said, "The reality is that there was a grievance raised. It was dealt with in the most professional manner by the group that appointed an independent KC, one of the most reputable in the land. He took time to investigate all the facts. He looked at everything and he came to a conclusion where he dismissed the grievance. As far as I'm concerned, as far as Red Bull is concerned, we move on." The controversy has become a focal point of a power struggle within Red Bull, implicating figures such as Horner, motorsport advisor Helmut Marko, three-time world champion Max Verstappen, his father Jos, Verstappen's manager Raymond Vermeulen, and the company's two owners. Chalem Uvidja, holding a 51% stake in the company, has supported Horner and compelled the 49% shareholders at Red Bull GmbH in Austria to withdraw their efforts to oust him. Former Formula One chief Guenther Steiner suggests that Red Bull's leadership may be reconsidering their plans in light of the Christian Horner controversy. The speculation about Horner's future as team principal has been a major topic during the first 2 rounds of the Formula One season. Despite the ongoing discussions, Horner has continued to focus on his work, guiding Red Bull to 2 victories. Steiner is confident that both the team and the sport will aim to put an end to this controversy soon. He shared his perspective with ABC Sport, saying, "In the higher ranks of the company, there will be some people rethinking what they want to do. I hope that for the sake of Formula One, they put an end to it, and we move on." According to reports, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko have initiated a preliminary step toward an uneasy truce amidst the ongoing internal challenges at Red Bull. Despite securing victories in the first 2 races, the reigning champions have faced turbulence behind the scenes at the start of the new season. Marko was drawn into the controversy when he was accused of leaking evidence regarding Horner's alleged behaviour, leading to speculation about his potential removal from Red Bull. However, he refuted any involvement and expressed confidence in retaining his position after a meeting with Red Bull managing director Oliver Mintzlaff. Horner and Marko made efforts to alleviate the tension between them by engaging in peace talks aimed at uniting the team, as reported by The Mirror. It is reported that discussions occurred earlier this week between these 2 Red Bull figures, who are evidently eager to prevent their internal conflicts from impacting the team's on-track performances. The duo has reportedly reached an agreement for a public ceasefire to avoid further unwelcome media scrutiny. Despite their differences, they share a common goal to unite behind, with Red Bull's aim to defend their Constructors' Championship title and Max Verstappen's pursuit of a 4th individual crown in as many years. During the recent weekend, Max Verstappen played a crucial role in preventing the dismissal of Helmut Marko through his intervention. The Dutchman hinted that he might consider leaving Red Bull if Marko was removed from his position, with the Dutch driver openly expressing his support for the 80-year-old. When asked about the possibility of Marko being sacked from the team, Verstappen said, "If such an important pillar falls away, it is not good for my situation, and I have told the team that. He is an important part in my decision-making for the future. For me, Helmut has to stay. I have a lot of respect for him, and what we have achieved together, it goes very far." As of now, it's uncertain if the internal tensions at Red Bull will jeopardise their campaign, as there are no indications that Horner or Marko are on the verge of leaving the team. Despite the behind-the-scenes challenges, their on-track performance has been impeccable, with the Austrian team securing consecutive 1-2 finishes in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. Verstappen's threat may sound silly, but is it a possibility? Might Max actually depart from Red Bull's F1 dynasty to take over Lewis Hamilton's spot at Mercedes in 2025? We've seen stranger scenarios. Remember Hamilton moving to Ferrari? No other sport places as much pressure on its top performers as Formula One does. It's not sufficient to win with just one team. To be regarded as truly exceptional, you must spread your excellence throughout the entire pit lane. It's an unspoken expectation that makes motor racing one of the rare sports where loyalty is often frowned upon. While athletes who stay with one club are celebrated as heroes in other sports, it's considered too cautious and uncreative to confine oneself to a single team. Verstappen's remarkable focus often sparks optimism that he might be the one to break the mould, demonstrating enough confidence to understand that victories hold equal value even if they're all associated with the same team colour. However, the temptation to showcase that his success isn't solely due to a superior car and may also reflect his driving prowess could be a challenge even for him to resist. It would be incredibly daring for Verstappen to choose to depart from arguably the most agile, well-organised and potent team in the history of the sport. In recent years, Max and Red Bull have achieved remarkable success, establishing an unprecedented level of dominance in Formula One that has even led to Verstappen being identified as the biggest threat to the sport's growth under Liberty Media. Few drivers in Formula One history have experienced the level of support and team structure that Michael Schumacher had at Ferrari, akin to what Verstappen enjoys now. This setup allows Max to focus solely on his driving, the laps, and the race ahead, knowing that the team behind him has all other aspects well managed. When a team and driver discover something as extraordinary as their current synergy, reaching a state of absolute bliss, it becomes imperative to preserve it for as long as possible. Mercedes serves as a stark example of how challenging it can be to reclaim such golden days once a team loses its dominant position. After 3 years under the current rules cycle, Mercedes continues to grapple with adapting to the new regulations, lacking a clear strategy on how to develop a ground-effect car without noticeable drawbacks. If Lewis Hamilton himself doesn't view Mercedes as his top choice for the future beyond 2025, then why should Max Verstappen? The key strategy in switching teams in Formula One is always looking ahead. It's not just about which team is winning races at the moment, but also considering who might be dominating races 2 or 3 years into the future. While Mercedes might seem to be struggling currently, could they potentially emerge as the frontrunners once again when F1 introduces its new rules in 2026? The transition to 50% electrification in the sport will be the initial real challenge for Red Bull's new powertrains division, which was established following Honda's official departure at the end of 2021. RBPT, having enlisted talent from renowned entities like Mercedes, Ferrari, Renault and Cosworth, is not anticipated to face difficulties without Honda's backing. Helmut Marko had indicated last summer that Red Bull's preparations are miles ahead of Ferrari and Audi, and on par with Mercedes. Verstappen's remarks at the British Grand Prix, where he mentioned that many drivers were not fully aware of the F1 2026 car's development, hinted at Red Bull's significantly advanced plans compared to other teams. Mercedes has indeed been renowned for producing the most potent and dependable engines over the past 2 decades. Despite losing key personnel like engine boss Andy Cowell in recent years, their track record suggests that they are the ones most likely to get the 2026 regulations right from the start. The pivotal figure within Red Bull's F1 operation isn't Verstappen or Christian Horner, but rather Adrian Newey. It was Newey's brilliance that transformed Red Bull from a fun-loving team to championship contenders. His continued influence kept Red Bull optimistic even after their initial period of dominance with Sebastian Vettel came to an end. Newey is the individual whom competitors fear the most. Verstappen might be the focal point of Red Bull's universe, but his connection with Newey is the pivotal axis around which their world revolves. When it comes to Max's performance, having Adrian by his side ensures that he stays on the right track. Do you agree with the opinion that Adrian Newey is the most important member of Red Bull? Why or why not? Tell us in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.